I certainly didn't expect it. I wasn't one of those children who went to the movies on Saturday and looked at the screen and say, I want to be a movie star. It happened quite by accident. You know, I just got bored to death one day typing on a typewriter, and I pushed myself away from the desk, and I announced to whosoever will, I was sure that God did not put me on the face of the earth to bang on a typewriter for the rest of my life. There must be something else for me to do. I didn't know what it was, but I was going to find it. And
Good for you.
I pulled myself back up to the typewriter, proceeded to type, and I realized that mine was the only one going, and I sort of peeped up, and everybody else was sitting there looking at me. In any event, I went, 2 weeks later, my hairstylist asked me to do a fashion show for him. And that led to modeling, and it was while I was out on an interview for a modeling job that I was spotted by a character actress whose name was Evelyn Davis, and she had just been up for a movie and suggested that I, go and try for the role, which I did, and I got it.
Hey, Queen. Girl, you've done it again. Constantly raising the bar for all of us and doing it flawlessly. When you've come to learn that all that I have learned, one thing remains the same, and that is being true to yourself is the key. Knowing your roots and where you come from is also key. Keep that with you always. And always remain graceful even when you fall. There's a sweet justice in knowing that the path you are on was designed for you and you alone. Listen to me. When I say the best is yet to come, keep your chin up high and your standards higher. And remember, you are a queen.
My father was a Bajan who came to this country a cabin boy in a merchant marina.
I know all of that, Mama.
Then know this. I am alive because of the blood of a people who never scraped or begged or apologized for what they were. They asked only one thing of this world: to be allowed to be. And I learned through the blood of this people that black isn't beautiful. It isn't ugly. It isn't kinky hair. It isn't straight hair. Black is just black. Let's go on outside for this stuffing full of cake.
whenever I'm offered a script. What I'm interested in when I get it is why me? Who was that character and why did they want me to play it? And when I get to the point where I feel like her skin has fitted my arm or my mind, then I know there's something about her.
As a little girl, what were your dreams?
I was a very shy child. If you got 15 minutes of words out of me, you got plenty. I was a thinker. I sucked this finger until I was 12 years old. That's why I have these buck teeth.
Born in 1924 to West Indian parents, Cicely Tyson recounts her extraordinary life in her new memoir, Just As I Am.
I am an observer of human nature and the dreamer of audacious dreams.
The journey to stardom was not an easy one for Tyson, who became pregnant when she was 17 and had a short marriage that lasted just over 2 years. Tyson began her acting career as a single mother, a choice that brought conflict at home. Weren't you surprised, Cicely, that your mother actually kicked you out of the house because you wanted to be an actress?
Yes. Oh, she told me I couldn't live there and do that. Suddenly I found something that I loved to do, and I had a child to support.
So you weren't thinking, when I grow up, I want to be an actress?
No. My mother, I don't know what she wanted me to be. She thought that I was going to live in the den of iniquity, because we grew up in the slums, okay? Lots of prostitutes walking up and down the street. And that's all she knew about movies.
Her mother eventually came around, and their connection is a strong one to this day, especially in this church.
And I feel that her spirit is here. And so I bought this pew in her name.
So this was a way to honor her.
That's right.
Tyson made her on-screen debut at 31 in the 1956 film Carob Gold. Shortly after that, she enrolled in an acting school run by Paul Mann, a well-known acting coach. She found herself alone with him after her first class, and she writes about a traumatic encounter.
He said, "Excuse me, Miss Tyson, I'd like to talk to you." So I turned around and came back, and before I know it, he pulled me down.
And he was touching you and groping you?
Yes. No, what he wanted me to do was something worse than that. I thought about the whole incident when I got home. And, I never shed a tear about that until this moment.
All these years later, it still affects you that way.
The whole thought that you could go out innocently to achieve something, and it turns out to be something so vulgar and coarse and demeaning to you as a young black woman. But I made up my mind then that I went there for a reason, and that reason had not changed.
It sounds like a Me Too incident before we were even calling it Me Too. And some people would say, but why did you go back? And to that you say,
I went back to get what I was told I needed in order to achieve what I wanted. And I think of the many young black women who go through that and are devastated by it, and it kills their dream. I was not going to let that happen to me.
Through her sheer determination, her talent blossomed and landed Tyson the headlining role of Rebecca in Sounder.
You got your low-life job, Mr. Sheriff.
The 1972 film about a black sharecropper family.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, sir.
And a conversation with a white journalist about the movie pushed Tyson to find new purpose in her calling. And so you're promoting Sounder. Now, a reporter said to you
that he felt a bit of bigotry in himself while he was watching the movie. When I asked him why so, he said, I was uncomfortable about your older son referring to his father as Daddy. I said, do you have children? What do they call you? He said, they call me Daddy. And I thought, my God, this man is thinking that we're not human beings. And I made up my mind that I could not afford the luxury of just being an actress, and that I would use my career as my platform.
Namely, you want black people to be seen as human beings.
That's right.
After playing over 100 roles on the stage and screen, Tyson has won 3 Emmys, a Tony, and an Oscar.
This is the culmination of all those years of have and have-nots.
But beyond her public success, her memoir documents her love story with jazz icon Miles Davis. They were married for 7 years, but their romance spanned decades. Friends always wondered, why in the world are you with Miles Davis? Because you're right. He was unfaithful. He was abusive. You said Miles needed to be saved from himself, and you needed someone to save.
Well, listen, people who hurt, it's always the person that is closest to them that they hurt. And I was in love with him.
Yeah.
He was a beautiful human being.
But you know what? On his deathbed, he wanted you to know that he was...
Sorry. Yeah. Tell Cicely I'm sorry.
Was he the love of your life?
Yes.
Was he? But did you think you could never find love like that again?
I haven't.
You haven't. Have you been looking?
No.
I'll ask you this. What does it feel like to be 96 and a legend, Miss Legend?
I'm amazed every single day I live.
Do you feel like you have more to do?
Yes, that's why I'm still here. I mean, what my life became is not what I expected. I had no idea that I would touch anybody.
When the time comes, what do you want us to remember about you?
I've done my best. That's all.
Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine, heir of salvation, purchase of God. Oh, yeah, born of His Spirit, washed in His blood.